An absolutely beautiful night in Atlanta and a beautiful sight. The Atlanta Motor Speedway lit up for Labor Day weekend racing, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, about a quarter distance into tonight's 500-miler. Sprint brings you an inside look at the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup on the Now Network. Clint Boyer kind of doing what he needs to do for the moment to try and help himself lock in the final place in the chase for the Sprint Cup. Boyer soldiering along in 13th position, while the guys who are trying to displace him, Casey Kane, is running third and has moved up to 13th in the championship standings, with Ryan Newman running a little bit farther behind in points and a little bit farther behind on the racetrack. Top speed on the night so far. And Greg Biffle said he had a good car for this race, and he's posted the top number for this race at 191 plus miles an hour. For more NASCAR stats, in-car audio, and live race radio, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup mobile at sprint.com/speed. Three drivers have done all the leading through the first, now 80 laps completed tonight. Tony Stewart, Denny Hamlin, and Ryan Newman. It is Stewart who is out in front, passing Denny Hamlin just a moment ago. Biggest mover so far early in the race, Kevin Harvick, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship leader.
Yeah, it really does surprise me at all that Kevin's flying through the field, up 19 positions right now. Just had a poor qualifying run, started way in the back, but he did run really good in that nationwide race last night. Learned a lot. I think it's really helped him for tonight. He's all the way up to the 10th position right now. Good job out of Harvick.
And biggest surprise, guy that's won 2 of the last 3 here at Atlanta, Kurt Busch.
Yeah, and he's got 3 total wins here as far as wins in his career. He's been really great at the mile-and-a-half tracks. Both his wins this season have been on mile-and-a-half tracks. He is struggling mightily. Mired back in the 27th position. Cannot get that car to go forward. Seems like he's really, really tight everywhere. Not very happy right now is Kurt Busch.
Caution free to this point as we head back upstairs to Marty Reed, Dale Jarrett, and Andy Petrie.
And Jimmy Johnson currently running in 5th place, right close to Martin Truex, who's had a very solid run here for the first 81 laps.
Yeah, Truex car looks very solid. You can see running the bottom part of the racetrack most of the time.
Let's reset the field for you. It's Stewart up front, Denny Hamlin, Carl Edwards, Casey Kane, Martin Truex, Jimmy Johnson, Greg Biffle, Menard in 8th, Harvick 9th, and A.J. Allmendinger in 10th. So A.J.'s got a good run going. Let's check in on Jamie McMurray as he's a little bit further back, 17th right now. And, of course, he's got to do a lot better than that if he wants to keep his chase hopes alive.
That's been caution-free so far. I bet a lot of teams would love to see a caution to adjust on some of these cars.
Yeah, they want to see one. They just don't want to be it. There's a problem. So
they're fighting like crazy and not to be the initiator of a caution. See how many cars. I mean, you can see the inside how much they're sawing the steering wheel. Jimmy having a good night though so far. His car looks pretty good.
Doc, you've got more?
Well, Jimmy's still complaining that the car is just really, really tight from the center of the corner off. And Chad Canal said, you know, buddy, just hang on. We'll try to make some more adjustments. We need help getting off the corner. And on the screen, the 14 car and former teammates here, the 11 car, Denny Hamlin, as the pass is made.
Tony Stewart with Denny Hamlin. Hamlin, the only driver in the top 5 right now with a win here in 2010. And guess who is getting ready to get lapped? You see that cat number 31?
Yeah, he's the next victim of Tony Stewart or Denny Hamlin, whoever gets to him first.
And that is 24th position right now.
And we see Hamlin, as Andy pointed out, kind of do the same thing. His car's really fast on new tires, and he strikes out there for a few laps. Then it's like he kind of eases off, saves his tires, son. Doing a really nice job. Now he's running Tony Stewart back down.
On board right there with Denny for a few moments. Going back down on the low side. And Burton right now praying for a caution to keep him on the lead lap.
Yeah, you can see he's just driving the wheels literally off of it right there, just trying to do whatever he can to stay in front of Tony Stewart.
Meanwhile, this battle for 5th continues to heat up. And
look how they're sawing the steering wheel racing each other. This is incredible racing.
Yeah, and at this racetrack, there's not much grip there. Anyways, you see Denny Hamlin going back by on the inside. Tony's going to give him that spot for right now.
That's the give and take you see early in the race. I mean, Tony Stewart just backed off the gas, knew that Denny needed a little extra room.
Well, Sam Hornish was the first to pit on the first cycle of pit stops. He is already coming back down pit road here again on lap number 87. And Sam is already 1 lap down, probably going to go 2 down right now in 34th when he came off the track.
When you start that early cycle, you kind of have to continue with it, don't you, Andy?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. You know, you do that first short pit and you hope that you get a few laps and then maybe get a caution. That's not happening. What it does, it kind of puts you in a cycle of having to do it again. And if you keep doing that all night, you'll end up making at least 1 or 2 more extra pit stops, which obviously won't work out for you.
While Sam finishes up, the battle for the race lead gets a little closer again. But look at the traffic now coming up to face both Denny Hamlin and Tony Stewart.
Yeah, and right in front of there, Jeff Burton would love to clear these couple of cars, get a few more lap cars in between he and the leader. Get him a little clean air on the front of his car, too. Although as loose as he looks like he might need a car in front of him to take some of that off the nose.
Bobby Labonte right there in the 71. Here comes Hamlin around. Let's get in the 14 and Dave Burns.
Well, Marty, you guys are referring to the give and take, which I'm not sure how much of that is happening on the left of your screen there, but the give and take with Tony Stewart and Denny Hamlin. And Tony and crew chief Darian Grubb have had that kind of a calm demeanor about them tonight. Early on, it was Darian saying to Tony, just take your time and tell me what the car is doing. Tony saying, I'm on that plan. Then during the second run, it was Tony saying, I'm just letting the car come to me. Don't worry about my times. And Darian said, I'm on that plan. They've been very relaxed in the 14 group, just trying to see what the 14 has throughout the night.
Well, and as you finish up, Dave, Jimmy Johnson looked like for a moment he was going to finally take over that 5th spot, but Martin says not yet.
Yeah, I can just tell you as a driver right now, you need all of that racetrack to try to make a pass. The tires are worn quite a bit. This racetrack has no grip. I think Jimmy might get him here by pinning him down on the bottom and going around him on the outside.
He's going to give it a try right here.
On the left side of your screen, Brad Keselowski is already a lap down. We'll keep the action on the right side going for you as well because Burton is trying so hard to stay on the lead lap.
But Tony Stewart got a huge run off of turn 2 right there. He took the lead back and is going to put Burton down.
Jimmy finally gets by Martin Truex.
He does clear Truex and opens up a little bit of ground.
Man, look at Burton get sideways.
Yeah, and there's Paul Menard now on the left side of your screen, trying to track down the 56. And look at Kurt Busch as he's trying to get it woed down to come back onto pit road. Kurt, his last 6 races, 3 top 10s, but 3 that were worse than 25th. And this looks like another one of those nights right now, as this is probably the biggest surprise to all of us.
Yeah, he won the race here early in the year, and I just did not expect to see him run like this tonight.
Right side, the battle for the race lead continues. Jeff Burton right now would get the lucky dog. Jamie, let's send it your way.
And Kurt continues to be frustrated with the way this race car is handling. He says he is now loose on exit. Remember, he had been so tight at the start of the race. He told his crew chief, Steve Addington, I want 2 rounds of wedge. We're not adjusting right. Let's do it right this time. 4 tires, and they filled it up for Kurt Busch.
Well, Kurt last year was running 18th when he crashed, ended up 38th in this event 1 year ago. So the memories from March are better than the memories of last September.
Yeah, and you can see this battle for the lead right here. It just shows you exactly what we talk about. Just a little bit of a slip. These guys are back and forth. We can tell you about 2 or 3 tenths of a second, but this is exactly what happens each and every lap. Doc?
Clint Boyer saying the car is still very, very loose. He's just trying to be patient on the racetrack, and the car is getting freer and freer. 4 tires, major air pressure, and he's away.
Well, and to just let you know, as Clint comes back out onto the track, Mark Martin is the next guy to go a lap down. He is shown in 21st position. That is the last thing Mark needs. Look at the way these cars are twitching. 39 of Ryan Newman, we can tell you, has pulled onto pit road as well. Mike?
And speaking of twitching, that's the least of Ryan Newman's concerns on that last run. In the middle of it, he said he thought that something felt weird, that he may have a vibration. So this comes as a bit of a relief. He's able to change all 4 tires, make an air pressure adjustment, and make sure that they don't have any issues, hopefully on this run.
Right side of your screen as you finish up, Mike, Kevin Harvick. And here we go for the battle for the race lead again. We've had 8 lead changes so far, and Tony on the high side, and here comes Hamlin right back.
Well, this is just great racing, and we talk about this being a worn-out racetrack, but that's the kind of show that these guys can put on whenever you give them good cars and a track like this.
Jamie McMurray pulls off onto pit road, I should say, in 19th position right now. Then he's got a problem on the right side. He's got lap traffic. Let's send it to Jamie Little.
Jamie McMurray made his way down to pit road the first time around. He's saying he's loose on throttle, so a little chassis adjustment to try to help him out there, tighten him up a little bit. Remember, these cars tend to get looser as the night goes on, the opposite of what we normally see. 4 tires. Looks like a clean pit stop. 15.2, a little bit long. for Jamie McMurray.
Martin Truex, let's go over the wall. Brian Chase, and as he pulls back out.
Oh, when they start making these pit stops, I think you could probably put jersey barriers up there, and you wouldn't keep a lot of these drivers from coming in. They really want tires right now. These cars are sliding everywhere.
Sure do. We saw all that smoke back there at pit road. That was Matt Kenseth locking his up to come to pit road.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., we can tell he has made a pit stop. 24 of Jeff Gordon is in. Here comes the 14. Gordon, as we mentioned, he is first on the road, and let's send it to Dave.
Boy, Jeff really wanted to pit. He said, come on, dude, to Steve Letarte. And Steve said, we're waiting for the leader. Well, the leader is finally going to come down pit road, but they're going to fix tight on landing for Jeff Gordon. So the guy battling for the lead, the 14 of Tony Stewart, is on pit road. He said, tight center, loose off, but you helped it a bunch. That was a wedge and track bar adjustment last time. Greg Biffle is also on pit road for a loose race car. Biffle's crew will go down on the track bar and give him an air pressure adjustment. That's the 16 of Biffle. Had to angle in, but so far legal in his pit stall. Look at that right front brake rotor. It's on fire, and Hamlin's on pit road.
Carl Edwards coming in again. The car very, very loose. They're going to go down one round on the track bar, change air pressure in the right front. The car's getting better and better. The track's getting freer, but the adjustments are working for Carl. Jamie.
And Denny Hamlin wants it to loosen up just a bit. They're going to make a wedge adjustment on the car that has dominated so far tonight. 4 tires filling up with fuel for the #1 pit box. He's down and away. 13.5. Great stop for Denny Hamlin.
He's led 59 of the 98 laps that we've run. Kevin Harvick also made his stop. Jimmy Johnson finished up their work, coming back out from on board with Kevin.
Kevin's made a great run tonight. As you can see back here, Tony Stewart back out front again after the pit stop.
Still got a few cars that are going to have to make stops. The 21 comes in of Bill Elliott. And Bill gets his work done. His son Chase Elliott won his first Pro All-Star Series race at North Wilkesboro last night. He wanted to make sure we said that because he's a proud papa.
He should be. That boy can drive.
All right, on the right side, they're out of sequence, of course, Kyle Busch, as he is trying so desperately to get back into position here. But he's shown in third place right now. But remember, he is going to have to make a stop. He is going to need a caution pretty soon, because that would then keep him on the lead lap here at our Sprint Cup race in Atlanta, presented by Pennzoil, as we approach the 100 lap mark.